It'll help people when I put it on YouTube. Folks, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is no BS coaching advice to help you whether you're a business owner, job hunter, or have concerns about stuff going on in your life, help you with your next situation. So, Matt, I'm not going to mention last names here. How can I help you?
Yeah, absolutely. So what attracted me to this was more of the advice on the business thing going on. I'm a CEO of a startup, and I'm just kind of so I have a problem. I'm at a point where I feel like there should be a lot more I should be doing. Like right now, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing social media, I'm blogging about the business and everything. And I have my friend who's my co-founder doing the design for the app. It's a mobile app development business, but I don't know what else to do while they're instead of meeting with them with them to figure out the design for the app. Other than marketing, I don't know what else I should be doing, and it's not taking up a lot of my time, and that's a problem. I feel like you have to pour in a lot of time into startups. So I just don't know what to do I don't know what to do other than the marketing. So do you have any advice on how else I can stay proactive in this? It's very, very early in the phase, the startup phase.
How much is the business taking of your time? Is it your full-time job?
No, not at all. I'm a full-time student, and I have many other commitments. The business is probably, if I'm being honest, is probably taking like 5 hours, maybe 7 hours a week.
Perfect. So the one thing I always coach people about is patience, because there's a touch and there's timing related to any business and any career. And as anxious as you are to get out there and sell, maybe your biggest job right now is supporting the people who are developing the app to feel like they've got a cheerleader behind them who supports them and has got their back. Because often folks, especially in a situation where you're the marketing person and they're the development people, they don't feel real connected. So, your job may be more about the cheerleader at that time and being patient with it, while at the same time doing great in school, because you still have that element of your life as well. I don't know if this is your plan to do 100% of your life with when you graduate. I don't know how far away you are from graduation, or whether this is just something you always want to keep on the side. So, the first thing is, support them. Offer advice, offer them support, don't offer criticism. It's the easiest way for partnerships to break up is with the friction that comes from one person always second guessing the other.
Totally.
So I know you know this stuff intuitively, but you're chomping at the bit to be doing more. How far away do they seem from being ready with an alpha or a beta release?
Well, I should have made it more clear. We're developing or creating or designing the user interface to create an MVP, a prototype to throw up on Kickstarter. So that's really there. And then with that, it's early. We're still playing around with the idea of the app, like the features and whatnot. They've probably done 4 or 5 screens, but they're sketched and they're not on the computer yet. So it's still pretty far out. As I said, it's very early in it, so it's probably at least a 2-3 month thing going on.
Gotcha. So your biggest thing right now is to support them, maybe doing some of the testing. And I don't mean it from a technical standpoint to do the testing, but to make sure it serves a legitimate purpose and the functionality that you're building into the app makes sense given the market. So your job may be winding up doing online things through Blab, for example, where you invite people in to talk with them, people who are involved with Kickstarter. You can do something like a Harrow. I don't know if you know Help a Reporter Out, Harrow, where you invite people who use Kickstarter to contact you and then interview them about their use of Kickstarter and talk about some of the things that you're doing, how that serves them, what they like about Kickstarter, some of the failings they use in the UI for it, the user interface. By the way, Jen Phillips, April, howdy, how are you? Monica Ramos, howdy. So there's lots of different things that you can do that will support the developers or the designers with the work that they do to make sure that it's on point for what people really want, which is, I know what you really want.
That's really good advice, actually. I really thank you so much. That's great advice.
Thank you. What else can I answer for you? How else can I help you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, some shows it's just like one question and they beat you off. If this is like not that, then yeah, I have a plethora of questions. Honestly, I'm very much so grappling less now than I was a few days ago, but with telling anyone and everyone about the idea. I'm very worried about the intellectual property. I'm getting very different advice from very different people. And the fact of the matter is a patent, the lawyer that I talked to, which is pretty cheap for a patent doing it with a lawyer, is $5,000. And for me, that's a lot of money. That's like, that's 6 months of saving. So it's, I was told by a CEO of another company that like most companies that like save up for the patent and get their patent just say, hey, I have a patent, and don't do much with it instead of working towards the patent. Find customers, find people that are going to be interested in what we have going on. Like as you said, help the developer, and don't just invest all your money into the patent.
So my first reaction is, I'm still here. Can you not hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, but your seat is popped up. Okay, I can't see you, but it's fine. I can still hear you. That was weird. It's kind of a glitch. But okay, sorry. That's what I have going on. Did I finish my question, actually?
I would say that don't worry about the patent for now.
Okay.
And I would say that just because you first have to test this further. And you may be spending a lot of money on patenting something for which there's no market. So I want to encourage you, spend some time looking at what you can do to market. And I want to be clear, I'm not talking about going out and selling. I'm talking about what I did before. I was talking before, looking at, creating I don't say a minimally viable product, but a product that meets what the demand is. And you still have to test that some more to understand what it is. That makes sense?
Absolutely, completely.
Cool. I'm going to see if someone wants to sit in, if they have ideas as well, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey folks, if you have an idea for Matt, I don't claim to have every answer. I have a lot of them. So if you've got an opinion or you'd like to join, and because you have a question, maybe Matt can help you. So just let me know if you'd like to jump in. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking to Matt.
And just so you know, I mean, I think everyone can still hear you, but everyone, if you look in the comments, I think everyone's seeing what I'm seeing, and there's only two boxes. It's me and an open seat. So just be cognizant of that. People, I don't think anyone can see you right now. This is a serious glitch I haven't actually seen before, but it looks like I'm hosting right now, which is interesting. But
interesting.
Just keep that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. We can still talk like audio, which is totally, that totally works. So. Okay.
And it's funny, I'm not seeing those kind of messages. I'm just seeing people have joined the conference, and I have the tally on the number of people who've been in and the top number of people who are here.
Oh, you don't see the comments?
I'm not seeing the comments for some reason.
Are you on your phone or your computer?
I'm on my computer, and
oh, you just cut out.
Inadvertently.
Oh, there we go. Okay. You're on your computer, but you can't see the comments?
Yeah, I have the comments tab, but I'm not seeing anything along the side. I'm going to
spoke a few days ago, and he was talking about potentially how many people are on Blab, and the fact that it's sort of skyrocketing. And I think Matt came up with a figure which is about just sort of one of these type figures, which was about 1,000 people on Blab. And I've been sort of looking at it the last few days, the weekend, and I see many more people, Matt. I don't know whether you've seen that as well, and whether you've got anything else to say in terms of how is it going, but because it just seems to be escalating. It's nothing to do with the question which you've asked Jeff, but it's just the fact that I just saw you and I thought I'll come in. You're on there, and obviously you're quite active, and I've been watching you, but. Anything to add in terms of our previous conversation on another Blab? Apologies, Jeff.
No reason to apologize. Are you looking to jump off? Is that it?
Yeah. If I can.
Okay. I'll slide. I'll say goodbye. Thank you. I appreciate the support.
And yeah, just like to answer that super quick. Yeah, it is skyrocketing. My estimate is now more like 3,500 because there is That's very rough, obviously, but it's because there's 1,800 people following Grant Cardone and Michael Stelzner approximately, and that's about the business side of Blab is about half the market here. So I'm going to guess about 3,500.
And it's funny, I have an article coming out for LinkedIn. I'm probably going to post it tomorrow, where I talk about Blab in the context of how firms can market jobs more effectively than what they do up until this point. Because what I see from most organizations, hey, we're about to be joined. Just giving you a heads up.
Okay, awesome.
You know, the way I see a lot of firms. Is it pronounced Christiana? Christiana, nice to meet you. So what I see, what I'm suggesting firms do is, instead of the typical job description where there's requirements, responsibilities, and all this boring stuff that seems like it was written by a bureaucrat, I'm suggesting what they do is they set up a Blab between HR, the hiring manager, a person on staff, and the overall C-level individual or director for the function, and where they talk about the job, where they talk about the opportunity, what the firm is looking for, what it's like to work there, and then link it into the ad. So that they can, of course, put it on YouTube, create a podcast around it. It'd be terrific and far more informative than what happens now. And because to me, most of these job ads are awful. Yeah,
and Blab, I don't know. I mean, I think actually the people on Blab right now do realize this, but Blab is about to be the huge. It's going to be gigantic, and the fact that we found it while it's still in beta speaks mountains to how successful we're going to be on it in 6 months.
It's funny what I found, and again, I'm going to.
Was it now?
What's going on with you? How can I help you?
Well, the title really attracted me into this Blab. No BS coaching advice. My work, business, life sucks. What do I do? Well, I like to try and be an optimist, so I don't want to just say my life sucks, but
Good.
By a lot of people's standards, my life kind of is sucking right now. I just finished my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, but I haven't had a job in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working really hard trying to find a way to make an internet online community project that I created about 1.5 years ago. I've been trying to find a way to make that sustainable. So make that into something where I can afford to spend my time doing that. So far, no such luck. And then I met someone, and he lives across the globe. I've been visiting him. He wants me to move there, but I don't have any work experience. I don't want to move yet, but I do want to move away from here. I live in the same house I grew up in.
Yes.
I don't know what to do, basically. I don't know.
How long have you been a couple?
Not terribly long time, just since January, beginning of January.
Right. Shall I use the L word, or will that scare you?
Oh, you can use the L word.
Great. Do you love he or she?
I do love him.
So there's something holding you back about making the move. Can you give it a vocabulary?
Fear. Terror. I was, the last serious relationship I was in, I was actually married, and he left, and I'm just terrified of that situation kind of repeating ever.
Gotcha. It makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So
yeah.
You have what's actually referred to as a pleasant problem. It's scary, no question about it. But when you think about it, a lot of people don't feel love, and you do, and that's great. And you joined in talking about wanting to build a business as well. I don't know if that's a smokescreen for how you might get out of committing to a relationship or not. Only you have that answer. I'm not going to judge it.
Well, the interesting thing is there's also been this kind of pull of, I first loved this community project that I've been working on. I believe in it with all of my being, and I feel like it could really happen if I just keep at it and learn a lot. And I met him there, but he is not so comfortable with me spending that time doing such things because he doesn't have the same sorts of interest or perspective. And so now it's like,
there's friction in there because it's about giving up your dream as well. And it doesn't sound like he's supportive of it. He wants you committed to him or something else beyond him that we haven't talked about. That might make it hard for you to fulfill that. And that involves you making a decision. It's a tough choice. Oh, Seal is back. Look at that.
Awesome.
The internet in here isn't that great, so I switched on the 3G. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Good. Well,
So
if you don't
what
mind,
did I
I'll
miss?
just sit here and let you guys continue because I'm very interested.
So we started, and she's gracious enough to allow us to pick up.
Thank you.
So I'll just simply say, where last we left off, you've got your certification. Your dad expects you to join the family business or his business at the end of the month.
Yeah.
University would start then as well.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Yes.
So I was trying to say the stereotype I have of what sounds like a patriarchal family is that it's hard to disobey father.
Yeah. My father
are
is
you
my
oldest?
motivation, to be truthful with you. He is
Excuse
my
me?
motivation. He's my
That's your-
motivation.
He's your motivation. He's your drive. And could you actually talk with him about what your fears are or your hesitancies are?
I actually didn't open with him that case because it's like when he looks at me, he sees his future, the things he wants me to achieve, the things that he didn't achieve. So that's why, you get me? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I didn't choose, actually, I'm not studying what I want. That's
Oh my, we got another detail in there as well.
Yeah, I told you there's a lot of details.
And they're coming out slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So if you joined him, you couldn't do university. You couldn't do this part-time with him and part-time at the university.
Part-time with him and part-time, I didn't get
Working
you.
part-time for your dad and going to school part-time.
To what?
To do two things at once. To attend university for your
Actually, I'm
interests.
going to work for him. I'm going to work in this big company in here. It's a very well-known company.
Gotcha. Ooh, another layer in there. So he wants you to join so you get the experience working at the big company. And then later on in life, you take over the family business. You take over what he built?
Yeah.
Got it. How old is he?
He's 54.
So if you delayed by 2 years, what do you think might happen?
I would lose the certificate that I got. I would lose everything.
Gotcha.
I would lose the pressure. I would lose the education that I got. It's like for this certificate, you know? I would lose a lot. I would lose time. I would lose experience.
Gotcha.
You get me?
You betcha. Along the way, I gotta pull things out of you to be helpful.
Just ask me.
That's what I'm doing.
Whatever you want.
That's what I'm doing. So, Seal, what I would say to you is, you're reluctant to join, and you're reluctant to commit, and you don't want to disappoint.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint.
Does he? And you know your dad loves you. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, I'm his only girl. So, yeah.
Are you the oldest?
No. I'm the third one in the family.
But
then I'm the only girl in the family.
But you have a special relationship with him.
Yeah, my relationship with my dad is kind of like a relationship that you have with your friend, but then at the same time, you wouldn't tell your friend everything. You get me? You wouldn't go that deep. You wouldn't tell your friend all the feelings, like everything.
So, since the issues about disappointing him, have you thought of asking him for advice?
I did ask him for advice.
And what did he tell you?
I did. He wants the best. We all.
Of course, he wants the best.
All of our parents wants the best for us, right? He wants the best for me in terms that I can work there fast. I can get very good experience. He wants me to be the top. He wants me to get very good wage. So that's why he was kind of my motivation to get this certificate. He's the one. Since I was little, I always wanted to be a doctor. Okay, it was my dream. Actually, not a doctor. What do they call it? That person that you tell all of your feelings to, and
psychologist or psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist.
Really?
Yeah.
Psychiatrist is a medical doctor.
Psychologist, just the talking, and they can't prescribe the meds.
I've always wanted to be a psychologist, but then since grade 6, he started with this idea that no, you're more of a business person. You're more of a person who knows, who's into marketing, who's into business, who's into achieving their dreams. A psychologist, actually, even in Middle East, being a psychologist is something that isn't going to get you nowhere, because in here, we're talking about your feelings is something that's a big no-no. You get me?
I getcha.
So that's why he's like, you wouldn't get any job, and you would work hard for nothing.
So what I would say, Addie, what do you think? By the way, she's got her degree in psychology.
So
really?
Yeah, I just got it, and so I'm really excited to hear you saying that, especially because
so cool.
Yeah, and what?
Okay, I'm glad I have Blab right now. I'm so glad.
Especially because as I was telling Jeff,
wait, I'm gonna follow you guys.
Yeah, I already followed you guys. But as I was telling Jeff when you were disconnected, there's this kind of internet project that I've been working on. And it's all I've ever wanted to do. It's that dream that I wanted that my parents just shot down really early. And finally, somehow I found it after I got a divorce. And I'm really excited to do so. And it actually is about psychology, but it's about trying to find people who might not have those I'm too excited. Certifications.
It happens.
Yes. And using the internet to create some kind of a platform that people who are interested in doing so people like you maybe could utilize the technology to connect with people from all over the world and just kind of help talk about them, just basically be that friend for them, an anonymous kind friend, because
tell them
and basically just listen and just be there, and it would be kind of in a group format to keep things safer. But then there would be training that would help the people who are working there know where to refer people if certain kinds of issues are coming up. So if somebody's suicidal, if something is just like beyond the scope of just being a kind person to another person who needs a kind person. So anyway, that's just what I think. I just got so excited. So, but also,
it's a good idea. Actually, it's a very good idea. I support you 100%.
Wonderful. If I'm able to get a little bit more traction, I'll hit you up.
but she's got a dilemma. She has a dilemma as well, which is what brought her into this Blab. Love. There's a love element in there, and the person she loves isn't necessarily supportive of the idea. So it's committing to a relationship and giving up something that's important to her or not. And first thing I would suggest, if I may, you can defer moving to where he is for a while longer to continue on this and maintain the relationship. And that would be hard, I know. I saw it look like you holding back some sadness there. So I would simply say that is an option for you, and it does put some things at risk. But I would also say giving up a dream also puts things at risk because you're not the person that you normally would be without that full part of yourself there.
Yeah, and I think really the only option that I'm going to be able to take is, you know, holding off returning there after my next planned trip. But because, I mean, I would have to get citizenship or a visa, and to be a citizen there, you have to forfeit your U.S., and it's just like all of this mess that I'm not willing to. And I've been heartbroken before, so it's like.
Don't tell me he's in Jordan.
No, he's in.
I just wanted to see if there was a further parallel.
Wow. No, he's in Norway.
Okay, do you want my advice?
Yes.
My advice isn't going to be that more effective as the one that Jeff mentioned, but then I'll just put in my advice, okay? My advice is don't ever go where love takes you. You got me?
Don't ever go?
Yeah. Love, there's no such thing as love. There's no such thing as love.
You sound just like me. Oh.
Trust me, there's no such thing as love. Trust me. You have to trust me on this.
I know, but I'm trying.
There is something, love isn't going to get you anywhere. That's what I believe in.
Love alone. And you can't just depend on love to make things happen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the juncture I'm at where it's like.
If love gets in the way of your dreams, then fuck love. I'm sorry for this. Then fuck love. You get me?
Fuck love if it's towards something that can.
You've always wanted.
Obliterate it.
Something that. If it gets as simple as that, if it gets in the way of your dreams, then you have to forget it. I don't know if even if that person is so close to you, even if that person is what you always wanted, but if that person gets in the way of your dreams, then he's not worth it. He's definitely not worth it.
Well, he's not the right one, honestly. And it's like if my delay returning there ends our relationship, it's a good thing that it ended, because otherwise I'd be screwed, because I go there and then it just, you know, if you can't wait for things to work out. So I like your style. Both of you.
And Asil,
thank you.
Applying what you just said to yourself, how does that work?
Nah. I was actually thinking about it while I was saying it. I was like, okay, I love my dad. Then just try to apply it on yourself now. It's different, because you can't. I've grown up with my dad. My dad's like a part of me, if I can say that. Mm-hmm. He's literally a part of me. That day I was just thinking about just leaving everything behind and starting a new, studying whatever I want. You got me?
Of course.
But then even thinking about how my dad would how everything, the idea of me would change for my dad, thinking about it, I couldn't even complete thinking about it. I was just too afraid.
What is it that your dad does and wants you to eventually take over?
My dad is into technology. He's into computers. He studied computer science. So all of us studied computer science. I have two elder brothers. They studied computer science, and now I'm studying computer science in college. And I got a certificate in networking.
Okay, in the computer science.
Yeah. So
I just want to say that I'm going to be wrapping up in about 5 minutes' time. So excuse me if I make that announcement.
Why?
I'm interested.
This is good.
It's fine. Yeah. Come on.
I'm going to start a good blab. I'll come back with it again.
We'll join you. Yep. You have to, right?
Yep.
I will. The one thing that's obvious is that you don't want to do what's expected of you. Otherwise, you'd have done it already. So
what's
you don't want to
necessarily.
Excuse me?
What's what? Because I didn't hear you. What's what?
I was saying that what's expected of you is to take that job so that you get your training and experiences and then join with your dad later. Uh-huh. So understanding that you don't, mm-hmm. You're going to disappoint someone somewhere in here. There's no smooth mm-hmm. path. Mm-hmm. You can either subjugate yourself to your dad's wishes some more, or you can apply that strength and determination that got you this certification and take it in the direction that you dream of taking it, which is in psychology. So, frankly, the no BS coaching advice is to bite the bullet and be a disappointment, and love him while he goes through his process, even though it's going to be complicated for you, and dive right in there and immerse yourself in your studies with the same zeal that you did toward getting that certification. You got something out of that experience, which may not necessarily be the concrete thing of the cert, of that certification. You're very strong-willed, right? That comes across loud and clear. Apply that strength that you have in the direction that you always wanted to. Be outstanding. Be the success that you want to be. Live life with passion, because as one of the people who was in the Blab earlier talked about, you can go through the motions, but a lot of people are so afraid that they never commit to anything. Commit to that which you love, because at age 19, no one's 19 anymore, by the way. At age 19, you've got a lot of years ahead of you. I'm not 19, in case you haven't noticed, and
you're 20.
I'm a graybeard. So, I would encourage you to bite the bullet and risk the disappointment, and love your dad, and stay close to him, and understand he may be angry and yell and do all sorts of things that you dread, but love him. Talk to your mom beforehand if you have a relationship with your mom along those lines.
No.
Maybe she can pave a path for you a little bit. I don't know if she's a subservient mom, as some are, throughout the world, but I'd simply say, follow your heart. Follow what you dream of doing. You got a lot of years ahead of you.
Do we still have time?
You're talking about having fun?
No, do we still have time? Because I want to say something.
Sure, a couple of minutes, sure.
Okay, so I was just reading about what Ati was. Ati, your name is Ati, right? What is it?
80 or Addie, but most
80. Yeah, ATY. Okay, so I was just reading what you sent me. Psychology was my dream, but then I told you at grade 6, it was just canceled. It was just out of my mind. So starting it off would be practically impossible for me. You get me? Because I've been. It was a dream that I wanted as a kid, but then there's no one who helped me to improve it, or there's no one who helped me to have any info about it. Do you get me? So starting it off.
You have a supporter here, and I would simply say, follow one another. There are people, in Jordan who can support you around this, who can mentor and guide you. Look for mentors. Look for professors who can support you. Look for people in the field who can support you.
To be truthful with you now, seeing myself as a psychiatric, it's hard to pronounce. Okay, you get me.
Psychologist.
Practically psychologist. It's practically impossible for me. Seeing myself as I've never expected myself to actually study it. I want it to be, but then the idea was just, it was just erased from my mind since I was young. So seeing myself or imagining myself is practically impossible for me.
So this may be the time that you collect information from people so you can get clearer about what's required of you if you pursue that path. And I think that'd be wise of you to do. So that this way, talk to people at the university who practice, talk to the people who teach that program, talk to people who are psychologists, schedule appointments with them, connect with them on LinkedIn. Tell them, hi, I'm a student. I'm interested in psychology. I'd love to pick your brain for a little while. collect info. So it's not based upon a fantasy of what it's like to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but you can talk to people who are actually doing it, teaching it in the field. That makes sense? Because right now you have no data, you just have a dream and a fantasy.
Yeah.
And
but
there's a
but my dream has been changed. Yeah. My dream has been changed to be good in my studies, to work. That my dad changed my goals. My dad changed my dreams to achieve the things, as I told before, to achieve the things that he didn't achieve. So achieving the things would be working while he used to work while he was in college. So he wants me to do the same thing, but then I'll be working in a whole another level. You get me?
Sure. So your dream is to satisfy your dad's dreams, is what I've heard in that last statement.
Quite frankly, I don't even know what's my dream anymore.
Right. So, patience with yourself. Collect some information, and I'll be online again very soon with this Blab, and maybe you come join and we talk again. But you got to go out there and find out more about this, so you don't give up one thing for something that you discover pretty quickly you wouldn't want to do. So
I got you.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Folks, I got to shut down for now.
Okay.
I hope I've been
Thank you so
help
much.
to folks.
This was great.
Peace out.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.